Melissa is still a hurricane and is still a problem. Your forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas starts right now.
This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi, my friends. Rusty back here at Meteo Mundo. We are your home for Caribbean weather. It's nice to see you on this Thursday. Hope you're doing well. Coming up in this video, Melissa still a hurricane churning in the western Atlantic with its sight set near Bermuda later tonight. We'll look at that. The continued impact and recovery in many island nations from the aftermath of powerful Melissa. As always, Meteo Mundo is sponsored by the Lean Law Firm of Central Florida, your hometown homeowners insurance attorneys, offering free consultation and policy reviews. They'll walk you through every step of the insurance claim process. It's leanonmelaw.com if you guys would like more information. As always, love to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comment section below what's been happening in your area, what the weather has been like. We're going to get back into the areas that have been impacted by Melissa in the last couple of days. But I do want to start off with the fact that Melissa is still a hurricane. Now, it's beginning that process to turn into a post-tropical system, but it should still fully be a tropical system as it moves west of Bermuda. But it has changed. First of all, the winds are still 105 miles an hour with the storm, okay? This is still a powerful high-end category 2 hurricane. But unlike when it moved through Jamaica and Cuba and the Bahamas, it is now accelerating with forward speed of 31 miles an hour to the north and to the east. Minimal central pressure as of the 5 o'clock advisory is 967 millibars. So we do have a hurricane warning for Bermuda. Now, I expect the core winds to stay off of the island. That being said, we certainly have the possibility starting late tonight in Bermuda and overnight to have at least some hurricane gusts, if not push hurricane sustained winds from time to time. Those are winds of over 74 miles an hour. So our friends in Bermuda need to have all of their preparations done. We'll obviously get some swell action and the opportunity to have some inundation in water as well. So expecting those tropical storm force winds to arrive into the island tonight and then stay across the island overnight through Friday morning. But with the brisk movement of Melissa at this point in time, it's in and out of the island very quickly. Could see some gale and some squall conditions for portions of the eastern side of Canada, Newfoundland, especially the Avalon Peninsula there, and even portions of Nova Scotia could be brushed with some tropical storm force conditions. Just some really squally weather here as this storm races up to the north and to the east. So for Bermuda, again, hurricane conditions are likely tonight and overnight. Mainly wind gusts that will be in the hurricane force, but 60 to 75 mile an hour sustained winds are not out of the question, and much higher gusts than that in the exposed and elevated areas of the island. Because it's moving so quickly, rainfall totals should actually be fairly low, just 1 to 2 inches, and coastal flooding is possible in areas with onshore winds. And obviously we're going to have some dangerous swells there as well. So hopefully all of our boaters are in safe harbor and in the sheltered side of the island. So Bermuda impacted for today. Our thoughts are with our friends in Bermuda. You guys live in the island. Let us know how it's going. We'll continue keeping an eye on what's happening post-storm here in the central and the southeast Bahamas. The reports coming in is that we've had some sporadic wind damage in islands like Cat Island, Exuma, Long Island, Rum Key, San Salvador, and portions of the Acklands. Got a comment from Sylvia from yesterday's video that, it was a very noisy night and the winds were quite strong, had to strap the solar panels down, but overall they managed okay. Would love to hear from our friends in the Bahamas who were impacted late yesterday and overnight by Melissa. Let us know how you guys are doing at the hour. We managed just fine for the most part in Turks and Caicos. We had some breezy conditions in the northwest Bahamas, but again, overall, things have been just fine, and we avoided any big issues for the New Providence area up towards Grand Bahama. Breezy behind the storm. Freeport has had a 30+ mile an hour gust. And as you guys know, we have our live cameras here at Meteo Mundo. They're back up and running after the storm. And again, it's still a very rough day, especially sea-wise here. We're getting a lot of the exposed swells coming back into the island. So a live look outside the Governor's Harbor of Central Eleuthera. 20, 30 mile an hour winds, very churned up sea conditions here or there. And again, pushing some of those waters. You can see some of those breakers there right along the seawall. Again, fairly significant from time to time. So certainly still churned up. And Long Island was even closer. Now this shot is on the west side of the island, so we're looking away from the storm where it is quieter. But again, we had some rough weather with Melissa late yesterday across Long Island, but obviously quickly improved. Things have quickly improved as well in the southeast side of Cuba. It really stinks to say that there's at least still some showers and a few thunderstorms over portions of Hispaniola for today. Again, portions of Haiti have had nearly 40 inches of rain since the inception of Melissa. Catastrophic flooding. Unfortunately, the death toll continues to climb, at least 25 dead now on the island, but hopefully those numbers don't climb too much more. Again, news is just slowly trickling in, but we're getting reports of just devastating flooding here, especially in the western and southern sides of Haiti. We still have had significant flooding portions of the Dominican Republic on the south shoreline, including Santo Domingo, and additional thunderstorms are developing today in inland portions up towards the northern coastline, places like Puerto Plata and just to the west, getting some activity. Luckily, we've been relatively quiet here in Jamaica for today, which is good news. You guys understand the catastrophic impacts of the storm. And again, our thoughts continue to be with our friends on all of the islands that have been impacted. We've had an isolated thunderstorm today across the northern and northeast side towards Ocho Rios. But again, the far western areas that have been so heavily impacted, it's been a dry day. Now, for those who do live on the island and are trying to get back some power and some internet, which is not going to happen anytime soon in the hardest hit areas, but if you're a frequent viewer of the channel, please let us know in the comment section below how you guys are doing. Maybe if you do live on Jamaica and you're getting word of other areas. I showed you some of the aftermath yesterday. Not going to do that today again, but obviously very heart-wrenching photos and videos coming in from the western third of the island. We're going to continue to watch a large disturbance moving into the eastern side of our area. Now, this disturbance is broad. It is already bringing some fresh winds, and it's going to start to bring some locally heavy downpours from time to time as well. You're starting to see that kick up in places like Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Martinique, where from time to time we've had some 25 to 30 mile an hour winds. You can see there right over Guadeloupe, they had a fresh 32 mile an hour wind, and this is just beginning to move in. So late tonight, but especially on Friday, this disturbance, which again, at this point in time, I do not see this becoming a organized system. So not a depression or a tropical storm, but a broad swath of heavy rain and gusty winds, high rain chances, good winds, marine conditions going down, a lot of small craft advisories and marine advisories out across a lot of the Lesser Antilles. This is a live look outside to Corinth, St. Lucia. Now, again, we've had some passing showers. I promise you this is a live shot. At this point in time, the Corinth area looks very tranquil. But again, Friday, I think it's going to be a different story. We're going to have passing showers and fairly breezy conditions as those showers come in, 25, 30, even 35 mile an hour winds. The moisture will begin earlier in the Windward Islands. So if you live in Trinidad, Tobago, and the Grenada areas north, you're going to see the better chances late today and overnight for some of these showers and isolated thunderstorms. You can clearly see the moisture is a little bit better here farther south in latitude, but ultimately, a lot of this moisture is also going to ride to the north, and we're going to build in the rain chances fairly high for Martinique and Dominica and Guadeloupe, up towards Montserrat and Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, Saba, St. Eustatius, St. Bart's, St. Martin and Anguilla, and these areas will actually hold on to their rain chances deeper into the weekend compared to the Windward Islands. So, the winds will freshen up and rain chances will go much higher here, and that's a good thing for places like Puerto Rico, which had a heat advisory for today. When it has not been raining in these areas, it has been stiflingly hot. These are wind gusts in miles an hour. Look, nothing outrageous at this point in time, but again, we haven't had a lot of cloud coverage and rain relative to what they've been seeing as far west as Hispaniola here. Nueva Esparta will get into some better rain chances starting tomorrow as well. It's been beautiful across the ABC Islands. I've got the wind gusts on, and we haven't had as much wind here the last couple of days. So it's a gorgeous shot. Look, there's still a breeze in Oranjestad and Eagle Beach, but fairly nice conditions here. Beach looks good. Folks enjoying this late Thursday afternoon. Now look, they're still flying the red flag, so be cautious out there. And I do expect a little bit more churned up conditions the next couple of days, because ultimately this disturbance will work its way as far west as the ABC Islands as well. We continue to have the opportunity for some heavy and flooding rains through portions of the southern sides of Central America, from Panama to Costa Rica. And again, this has led to some extensive problems in some of these areas. So our friends in Panama and Costa Rica let us know, but that monsoon trough is still activated even this late in the season. It's producing numerous showers and storms. You get north of there and the air is drier. When I show you the water vapor imagery, there's the moisture cutoff, far southeast sides of Honduras, but you get to the northern coastline of Honduras and especially up towards Quintana Roo, and you're just drier overall. This trough, which picked up Melissa and kicked it where it's dead, has really brought in drier air into the northwest sides of our area, breezy conditions as well. Now, this hasn't stopped a few showers and thunderstorms to have locally developed over portions of the Bay Islands recently, but generally speaking, this area has been a lot drier than what it has been, and it will be some time before the better rain chances begin to move back in. Now we're going to get into your island by island forecast and the tropical outlook. As always, appreciate you guys. Thanks for taking a quick second, just a really simple payback, hitting that like button for me. If you've appreciated any of the coverage, I appreciate that. Helps out the channel more than you think just to click the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, join the best weather community out there. Please join the Team MM. Subscribe, hit that share button as well, making this available to your family and friends. Appreciate those who have become members of the channel and those who have found other ways to support the channel via the super things. You want to become a member, 2 tiers that are optional for you, just 99 cents a month. You become a supporter, you get custom badges and emojis during all the live streams like we do, like when we were covering Melissa live. Your names are different colors, I shout you guys out. You want to kick it up a notch, our new tier is called Team MM. For $2.99 a month, you also get access to exclusive member shorts. I produce short form videos in between our live streams and these video updates, kind of giving you my thoughts about the forecast and as we move on. Now, when we're looking at the potential for additional tropical development, because a lot of you have asked about that as well. When we look at the graph, we're going to move into the beginning of October. And if you correlate this with the start of the hurricane season, we're still at a level of early to mid-July. So yes, we do fall off, but there's even a little bit of a peak back to November 10th. So on an average season, we really do have to get through the first 10 days of November before things really fall off a cliff. Now, in the short term, we see Melissa racing away into the northern Atlantic. The European model keeps the Atlantic basin dry. We start to cut off the West African coast waves as we get into early November, and we typically start to look close to home. Now you see an area of low pressure down here in the Southwest Caribbean, but again, the models have a bit of a bias with the ongoing monsoon trough, and they kind of try and develop a tropical system there when it's really just a lot of moisture continuing to spin in the southern sides of Central America. Always watching the situation, and it is an area where we do see some development in November, but at this point in time, it's just not enough of a signal to talk anymore about that. I only went out a week, right? We're not going to be chasing, the GFS and the European model 17 days out, especially in November, but you guys know I'm keeping a really close eye on things. The vigorous potential for, just a lot of rain again is going to be with this disturbance that'll be moving through the Eastern Caribbean. Now, unfortunately, it is going to make a run into the Central Caribbean late in the weekend and early next week, and this is going to bring more rain back over Hispaniola and Jamaica and Southeast Cuba, portions that don't really need to see it. And you can see that there actually is a moisture feed back into the southern side here of Melissa. Hopefully that gets shut off and we get a little bit drier air back into Hispaniola starting tomorrow for a brief time. I don't really have any big respites of rain in that area. Unfortunately, we're at least going to get some scattered showers and storms over the Dominican Republic and Haiti for the next several days. So here's what it looks like on the model. We'll start off here in the eastern side. Again, beginning overnight, I'm just going to stop this real quick and just kind of show you again, by tomorrow morning, you can see how widespread the rain is likely to be, especially in the central and the southern sides of the Lesser Antilles. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, there's a really good chance for some wet weather for Guadeloupe and Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, SVG, Barbados, Grenada, TNT as well. 70% chance in most areas. Is it an all-day washout rain? No, but there will be multiple rounds likely to move into your area, so you could get caught under a few squalls throughout the remainder of Halloween on October the 31st tomorrow. That will continue to just make it a kind of rough day, and sea conditions aren't going to be great. Again, a lot of marine advisories out there. Notice the rain will linger into Saturday morning as well in these same areas, and then ultimately will begin to dry out a bit in most areas beginning on Saturday into early on Sunday, but still a couple of showers are possible in these areas through the entirety of the weekend. But we're going to maximize this the majority of Friday through early on Saturday. Now, areas north are likely to build in the rain through Halloween, and then see that chance linger a little bit more. So you get north of there, Martinique, Dominica, Guadeloupe, especially Antigua, Barbuda, Montserrat, St. Kitts and Nevis, Saba, St. Eustatius, St. Bart's, St. Martin, and Anguilla. The rain will begin to move in on Friday, become a little bit more of a maximum late Friday and on Saturday, and then tail off a bit on Sunday. And all this moisture just wants to move east. So guess what? Now we have higher rain chances for Anegada and Virgin Gorda and Tortola and Yost Van Dyke, St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. John, Vieques, Culebra, Puerto Rico gets in on the act. So if you need some of this rain, the showers are coming in a fairly widespread variety. Rain chances, again, unfortunately, in these areas go back up. You see this slug of tropical moisture coming back into the Dominican Republic and Haiti. And again, the timing of this is likely to be the best or the highest, if you will, late Saturday and into early on Sunday. We'll see how this plays out. You can see that moisture moving through. Luckily, there does look to be a good forward speed with this as well. So hopefully the bulk of the rain is in and out of this area, within a day or so, and it's just not sitting on top of the island. We just don't need any more rain there anytime soon. I'm expecting, again, rain chances to come up a bit through the ABC Islands. Not outrageous, but some evening and morning showers are possible, with a couple in the afternoon. But again, if you catch a shower just before daybreak, that is likely to be the best chance there. Again, unfortunately, Jamaica also gets into a slightly better rain chance as well as we get into Saturday and Sunday. More scattered than anything else, but there could be some locally heavy downpours. Again, there's a lot of rich tropical moisture still in play. And so we're going to see this, and this could be island-wide. At this point in time, I'm not favoring any one area. I do expect by Sunday showers and even a few thunderstorms to be more widespread. So for those, and there are going to be so many areas that it's not just days, but it's weeks and months of repair, because we're still just beginning to assess the aftermath that, that rain is not going to be welcomed in most areas here unless we're going to break the heat in a couple of spots. Cuba, southeast sides don't need any more rain. Their rain chances will begin to elevate as well. Rain will actually spread north and west, where rain chances will go higher again for places like Turks and Caicos in the central and the southeast Bahamas. Now, we did have some heavy rain, and again, I'm very curious about the initial flood concerns out of Melissa. Hopefully, we elevate. We reduce all of that, that excess rain that we had before the next big slug of moisture comes in, which is likely to be Saturday and into Sunday. And for portions of the central Bahamas and then building north and west, rain chances will be elevated, and some of that could be locally heavy as well. Then we'll see that continued high rain chance and flooding concern for Panama and Costa Rica. The Cayman Islands get onto the act as well. Little Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Grand Cayman likely to see improved rain chances just building over the next 3 days, from an isolated variety right now to a better chance over the weekend. And I'm still expecting not a lot of rain for places like Cancun, Cozumel, and Tulum, and then a few showers, but mainly isolated for coastal Belize and Guatemala as well. Once we see Melissa move away, we'll start the loop again one more time. Look how brisk it goes away, guys. It's probably going 35, 40 miles an hour on Friday. Some moisture could return to Bermuda and just to the south and to the west on Sunday. So here's your island by island rain chance. Looks like this. Again, improving rain chances through the weekend for the northwest Bahamas, including Nassau, Freeport, and Lucaya. Rain chances will be on the moderate side for the south and central sides of the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos through Saturday, then a little bit more quieter on Sunday. Building rain chances to an elevated variety in Cuba. Cayman Islands rain chances look pretty good on Saturday and Sunday. There's your drier air from Belize, Cancun, and Cozumel. Jamaica should be relatively quiet still tomorrow, thankfully, but scattered to numerous showers and storms, especially on Sunday, back up to a 50% chance by then. The Dominican Republic, 40 tomorrow, 60 Saturday, 50 on Sunday. So again, it's not very low here, unfortunately, in the next couple of days. Potentially a little bit drier on the Haitian side. but not much. Puerto Rico's rain chances, 40 to a 50% chance. We'll build the rain chances in the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, 60 Saturday, 70 on Sunday. Moisture lingering there. Most of the rain is out from Melissa by around daybreak tomorrow morning in Bermuda. It'll still be very windy behind the storm, but drier with a few showers on Sunday. Anguilla, St. Kitts and Nevis, 70% chance for rain for your Friday. Still elevated rain chances over the weekend. Again, just like yesterday, I've got a 70% chance through most of the Lesser Antilles for your Friday. Rain chances stay higher overall the farther north that you go on the islands. Same situation for Sunday, and they'll just fall a little bit more here when you get back down towards Martinique and especially St. Lucia and SVG over the weekend. So again, high chance for Barbados on Friday, but we cut off the moisture a little bit quicker here. Just a 30% chance for showers for Saturday and Sunday. Grenada, about the same situation. A little bit slower fall, but overall a drier weekend compared to tomorrow in TNT. And again, I'll watch out for the potential for some locally heavy downpours. There could be some spots that get 2 to 3 plus inches of rain or 50 to 75 millimeters in just one afternoon, but that'll be fairly isolated in nature. Suriname and Guyana, again, high rain chances for the weekend ahead. Good rain chances the next couple of days for Nueva Esparta, and we should see a little bit better chance for the ABC Islands on Saturday and Sunday as well. So there goes Melissa going away, and there's all the swells, again, that I mentioned towards the eastern sides of Canada. This next disturbance should bring some 2 to 3, even 3.5 meter swells to portions of the Lesser Antilles, and some of that additional wave action is likely to get into the central Bahamas. So it's not going to surprise me if down the road we start to see some marine advisories, potential for the ABC Islands and maybe the southern sides of Jamaica as well. Now, rainfall totals again here on the European model. You'll see the disturbance coming in on the right-hand side of your screen. Then we will keep an eye out to the southwest side of the Caribbean, because regardless of development, we're likely to see the monsoon trough begin to lift north a little bit. This is very common, by the way, in early November to see this begin to slide farther north, and that should bring in, if nothing else, rain chances. But I'll say that some of the models in that 7 to 10 day time frame want to at least have a broad center to watch out for. Regardless, I think we get a lot wetter on the western side through the first week of November at least. And again, portions of Cuba, Southeast Bahamas, and even Turks and Caicos can get back into some high rain chances because that moisture will spread north and east from that development area in the Northwest Caribbean and then spread back north and east. Friends, I appreciate you guys. You can follow us across all of our social media platforms. We are indeed on Instagram, TikTok, X, and Facebook. As always, you want to send me a picture or video. Best way to do that's going to be mymediamundo@gmail.com. As always, love to hear from you guys. If you have a question about the forecast, feel free to drop it in the comments section below. I'm very happy to answer that. While you're down there, thank you so much for liking and subscribing. And please remember that Meteo Mundo is sponsored by the Lean Law Firm of Central Florida, your hometown homeowners insurance attorneys. Damage of any kind, property damage of any kind, wind, hail, hurricane, flood, they can walk you through that insurance claim process. It's leanonmelaw.com for more information. Obviously, our thoughts are with our friends in Bermuda. Let us know how you guys are handling that storm. Let us know how the cleanup efforts are going in places like the Bahamas, Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic. I'm monitoring the situation for you guys, and I'm back tomorrow. So I'll see you then, right here at Meteo Mundo.